Shalom. This is Larry with a quick video proving the validation of the destruction of Nicanor. I'm only going to explain enough information to prove that it is a valid holy day. Let's begin in the Apocrypha with 1 Maccabees chapter 7 verse 1 to get background information about the event. 1 Maccabees chapter 7 verse 1. In the 150th year of Demetrius, the son of Seleucus, departed from Rome, and came up with a few men unto a city of the seacoast, and reigned there. And as he entered into the palace of his ancestors, so it was that his forces had taken Antiochus and Lysias to bring them unto him. Wherefore, when he knew it, he said, Let me not see their faces. So his hosts slew them. Now when Demetrius was set upon the throne of his kingdom, there came unto him all the wicked and ungodly men of Israel, having Alcimus, who was desirous to be high priest, for their captain. Demetrius became the king. Now I'm going to continue reading in 1 Maccabees chapter 7 with verse 8. Then the king chose Bacchides, a friend of the king, who ruled beyond the flood and was a great man in the kingdom and faithful to the king. And him he sent with that wicked Alcimus, whom he made high priest, and commanded that he should take vengeance of the children of Israel. So they departed and came with a great power into the land of Judea, where they sent messengers to Judas and his brethren with peaceable words deceitfully. The king sent Alcimus and Bacchides to destroy the Israelites. Now I'm going to pick back up with verse 23. Now when Judas saw all the mischief that Alcimus and his company had done among the Israelites, even above the heathen, he went out into all the coasts of Judea round about, and took vengeance of them that had revolted from him, so that they durst no more go forth into the country. On the other side, when Alcimus saw that Judas and his company had gotten the upper hand, and knew that he was not able to abide their force, he went again to the king and said all the worst of them that he could. The king sent Nicanor to help destroy Israelites. I'm going to pick back up with verse 39, then I'm going to skip to verse 43 and just read to the end of the chapter. Verse 39. So Nicanor went out of Jerusalem and pitched his tents in Beth-horon, where an host out of Syria met him. Verse 43. So the 13th day of the month Adar, the host joined battle, but Nicanor's host was discomfited, and he himself was first slain in the battle. Now when Nicanor's host saw that he was slain, they cast away their weapons and fled. Then they pursued after them a day's journey from Adasa unto Gezerah, sounding an alarm after them with their trumpets. Whereupon they came forth out of all the towns of Judea round about, and closed them in, so that they, turning back upon them that pursued them, were all slain with the sword, and not one of them was left. Afterwards they took the spoils and the prey, and smote off Nicanor's head and his right hand, which he stretched out so proudly, and brought them away, and hanged them up toward Jerusalem. For this cause the people rejoiced greatly, and they kept that day a day of great gladness. Moreover, they ordained to keep yearly this day, being the 13th of Adar. Thus the land of Judah was in rest a little while. The Israelites, during this time in the Greek captivity, ordained to keep the 13th day of Adar holy. Let's go to the last chapter of 2 Maccabees to find out why they ordained to keep the day holy. 2 Maccabees, chapter 15, verse 36. And they ordained all with a common decree in no case to let that day pass without solemnity, but to celebrate the 13th day of the 12th month, which in the Syrian tongue is called Adar, the day before Mardocheus' day. This is the day before Mardocheus' day. Mardocheus is Mordecai. Let's go to the book of Esther to find out what happened on the 13th day of the month Adar. The book of Esther, chapter 9, verse 1. Now in the 12th month, that is, the month Adar, on the 13th day of the same, when the king's commandment and his decree drew near to be put in execution, in the day that the enemies of the Jews hoped to have power over them, though it was turned to the contrary, that the Jews had rule over them that hated them. Verse 5. Thus the Jews smote all their enemies with the stroke of the sword and slaughter and destruction, and did what they would unto those that hated them. Verse 17. On the 13th day of the month Adar, and on the 14th day of the same rested day, and made it a day of feasting and gladness. Verse 18. But the Jews that were at Shushan assembled together on the 13th day thereof, and on the 14th thereof, and on the 15th day of the same, they rested, and made it a day of feasting and gladness. Verses 19 through 22. Therefore the Jews of the villages that dwelt in the unwalled towns made the 14th day of the month Adar a day of gladness and feasting, and a good day, and of sending portions one to another. And Mordecai wrote these things, and sent letters unto all the Jews that were in all the provinces of King Ahasuerus, both nigh and far, to establish this among them, that they should keep the 14th day of the month Adar, and the 15th day of the same yearly, as the days wherein the Jews rested from their enemies, and the month which was turned unto them from sorrow to joy, and from mourning into a good day, that they should make them days of feasting and joy, and of sending portions one to another, and gifts to the poor. Turn the page and read verse 29. Then Esther the queen, the daughter of Baal, and Mordecai the Jew, wrote with all authority to confirm this second letter of Purim. Jews were already feasting on the 13th and 14th day of the month Adar before Mordecai instituted Purim for the 14th and 15th of Purim. That is why 2 Maccabees chapter 15 calls the day after the 13th of Adar Mardocheus' day. This is the end of the lesson. If it is the Lord's will, I'll give a breakdown of Purim in the future. On my For Israel channel, I have a playlist about proving the validity of the Apocrypha. Please check it out when you have a chance. It covers other topics like the Feast of Dedication, praying for the dead, alms delivering believers from death, magic, suicide, prophets during the Greek captivity, etc. Please make sure that you are subscribed to receive updates when I upload videos to this channel in the future. Have a nice day. Bye.